Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, assalamu alaikum. This is the 99th edition of our Zoom public meeting. So next week will be a big bash we are going to have, a big celebration. It would also be Eid celebration. So we are planning something big. So for 98 unbroken continuous weeks, we have been here every single Sunday. We haven't missed a single Sunday in 2 years. In the past year and 11 months and 2 weeks, we have featured over 300 presenters from all parts of the world speaking on 98 topics. We wish to thank all those who have contributed in whatever way towards the success of this ongoing Pan-Indo-Caribbean and Pan-Indian Diaspora project, which I am sure you will agree is historic, pioneering, and professionally executed. Our chairperson today is new, and he is a male, which is good. We like diversity. He is Mr. Nicholas Maharaj from Trinidad and Tobago, a brilliant young man who works with us in our ICC office almost every day in the working week. In fact, he was here just yesterday, Saturday. He has a BSc degree in political science from the University of the West Indies, and he's a final year online law student at the University of London. Nicholas, welcome, and please chair the meeting.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahabir, for that warm welcome. It is my pleasure. Good night, good morning, and good evening. Namaste and assalamu alaikum to all of you, depending on the time zone in which you live, because there are always people in this meeting from all over the world. We are still in the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, and to our Muslim brothers and sisters, we say Ramadan Mubarak. Sunday is expected to be Eid al-Fitr, which will coincide with our 100th Zoom anniversary, which we plan to celebrate right here on this platform at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic is still with us. It has not gone away. We are indeed blessed to be alive here today. So many of our family members and dear ones have passed on. Folks, remember to take the necessary precautions to save your life and that of all of your loved ones. Keep your social distance, sanitize, and wear your mask whenever you go out. We wish to offer our present support to the people of South Africa who have been ravaged by the recent heavy rains and floods. It has left 41,000 people without shelter and food, clean water, electricity, and the death toll has been estimated to surpass 400. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a weekly forum being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, a legally registered research and publishing company operating since 2010. And like today, we often partner with the Amina Gafur Institute for the Study of Indentureship and its Legacies, led by Professor David Dabadine. In order to continue this weekly program and to make it bigger and better, we are asking you to kindly give us your suggestions as well as a donation. Please contact Dr. Mahabir for further details. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator for this evening is Shalima Mohammed, a business teacher and researcher from Trinidad and Tobago. She obtained her master's degree in business psychology from Franklin University in the US. She's a strong advocate for health and wellness and practices and based on traditional and alternative healing. Ms. Mohammed, nice to have you again. Welcome. Please take over from here.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Namaste, and a very, very warm welcome to our program today. Like most of the others, today's public meeting will take the form of a panel discussion, but this time spiced with dances from all over the Indian diaspora. I'll ask you to please mute your microphone unless you are asked to speak. The microphone icon or symbol is at the lower left corner of your screen. The background noise, as we know, can be distracting, so let's please try to avoid that. Thank you. This meeting will not be more than 2 hours long. And today we are talking about recreating Indian dance in the diaspora. And we want to discuss this because we want to figure out, well, what distinguishes Indian dance in the diaspora from the century-old tradition in Bharat. Surely, after more than a century and a half of settlement, some modifications must have manifested to rightly reflect the relocation and new residents. The distance from India to the diaspora is far, and the time lapse has been great, so the theme would be retained, but the dance would veer from originality. As such, the Bihari-inspired Caribbean chutney music and dance are unique to this region. While it is important, the diasporic Indian dance aspires toward culturally specific features. In what ways is it distinguishable from the inspiration of its Indian antecedent? This is the main question that our presenters would address in dance and speech. So let's welcome our first presenter. And it is none other than Suzanne MOHIP from Trinidad and Tobago. Suzanne is more familiar to us as Baby Suzanne because she started off as a baby. She's an instructor of dance at the Academy for the Performing Arts at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. She is a performer for many local and visiting international dignitaries. Welcome, Suzanne. It's a pleasure to have you. You can present for 12 minutes.
Thank you very much. Namaste, everyone. I am very happy to be here and privileged to be here to give my contribution about Indian dance in, I would say, the Caribbean. So from my perspective, you know, when our forefathers came to Trinidad or to the Caribbean, dance was actually a very much more community-based interactions. It was very informal, and it was very much, you know, based among the community. So when we look back at how, you know, when our forefathers came in 1845, bringing with them cultures is what, and traditions, it's what stayed with us over the years till today. We in the Caribbean have really preserved our traditions, and we still maintain a great amount of our cultural heritage here in Trinidad. So dance in itself, from my perspective, I would keep saying from my perspective, because they are all different, you know, supports to the art forms, was very, you know, communal. It was very, you know, more what we call Harishchandra dances, Biraha, which came from the villages of India. And it actually transcended to our parts and our world here, our region here. It was not a very professional way of dancing. It was very much more of a recitation, storytelling type of dancing, where the artist will recite divine stories. It was more based on divinity. And to keep, because so far from India, our forefathers are from India, to keep that part of the culture alive, this type of I would say music and dance was preserved, which also made us very close to our homeland. So the divine stories would be recited through these informal way of dancing. The tassa was one that is very, very, very prominent in this style of dance. It was actually indigenous here in Trinidad. It was actually, you know, found here. It was actually made here, and you would have seen a bit of something happening with the transition stages. So we could safely say that Indian dance in Trinidad or Indian dance in the Caribbean has different phases. One being its original phase of actually being transported from one era from the 1800s to now. And you will see that going back to where our people settled here in the Caribbean, you know, didn't have much more of, or didn't have any way of actually hearing the homeland of Indian music or Indian songs or Indian bhajans. The only way it was through what we know as recitation and telling of stories and putting rhythm to it. And also when the I would say the time phrase of when Indian films became a very prominent thing here in the Caribbean. And that would have been way around 1950s or so, where the actual Indian songs was actually being played here on radios in this part of the world. So I just want to show you a video of basically listening to, you know, Indian songs back and down into the 50s, where actually dance started to change, because we here in the Caribbean really looked at a lot of the films. That was our closest way of actually now identifying to our music and our culture. So I would just play you a little clip of what dance would have looked like back then. So as you can see from this video, a lot of my audience would know me dancing also and I'm being part of this history at a very young age. Dance actually came a lot from the films. The films had a very big influence in the culture here in the Caribbean. And over the years, you would have seen that this part of the 1960s and 1970s, there was a pivotal role it did for us as dancers, as musicians. So moving from the Harishchandra storytelling traditional, moving into the phase where now the films actually became very important to us as dancers, we moved again and traveled into an era where most of us, like myself, having established many years of dance and having a lot of influence on others also, we identified with this. We identified our language, we were able to identify our culture, the dress up, the food, the expressions that came to it, the traditions in the sari also that came with it, that was so beautifully also presented in the films. Even here in the Caribbean, we started also adapting all of this, learning all of this, and keeping this very, very close to our heart. Those of us who, have made it very successful to the contribution and development of dance, left the shores to actually further our studies. We wanted to go back and actually bring now, what is the true essence of dance. It just could not be only from the films, because we as dancers observed the things differently when we saw our favorite heroine of dance perform. So most of us were very, very, very inquisitive to understand what this art form was. We returned to our ancestral home, which is India, and actually studied dance formally. Me being one of those, and an exponent of kathak dance, actually saw how different it would be, what was entertainment and what was art. So for many years, a lot of us as artists stayed in the field of entertainment, what was closest to us. We performed in everything. We could perform at weddings, we performed at cooking nights, as we call it, the night before the wedding. We performed at every event, Ram Leela, where the Harishchandra dancers will actually recite the stories of the Ramayana. We performed everywhere. And for us, that was very, very divine for us, because this is what kept us close of our true identity. So now I'm going to show you a little video of where, for the film world, where most of us was, and now have moved into taking dance professionally of a different level, where we want to use dance and an art as a form of development and education. So I will just play you a little clip here, and you're going to see myself dancing from, you know, as a child, as a girl growing up, into a world of professional dancing. So as you can see, the theme of what we do, the storytelling aspect of dance, stayed with us and is still with us. So having gone through that phase, most of us, like I say, have returned to India. We have learned classical dance. We have learned the fundamentals. We have learned the intricacies and the depth of dance. And Indian classical dance is one that brings us to where we are today in the field of education. So from my perspective, for me, as a kathak exponent, I wanted to see dance develop in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean at a different level. So while I enjoyed the entertainment part of it, while I enjoyed, being very famous and being, having done the shows, I wanted something more for the people here to understand that what really constitutes towards a good dancer, what really constitutes to the field of education, and what is really real. I now take you to a little journey where I've taken this art form as a classical Kathak dancer and now have to actually now interweave it here with our different cultures. As we know, Trinidad and the Caribbean is developed with many different cultures. We have Chinese, we have Africans, we have Indians, we have so many different ethnic groups here. What I did in this piece through the University of Trinidad and Tobago, UTT, was experimented with different rhythms. Kathak is very rhythmic. And the people of the Caribbean is also very rhythmic. We carry so many different types of rhythms. We carry different types of instruments. So what I did was that I took this art form and looked for a common ground into finding what it is can actually bring these two worlds so close together. Also maintaining a very natural tradition here of the Caribbean flavor of music. So what we have here, so you will hear things like the tassa, you'll hear things like African drumming, you'll hear things like the tabla coming together, fusing from a perspective of what we know in Trinidad and Tobago as real cricket music, which is the rhythm section. If we go to a good cricket match, you will hear a rhythm section playing. That drew my attention to the fields of Kathak and the feel and the rhythm structure and the gurus. So take a look and see how I've actually now transformed from the traditional styles of dance, bringing it home to our Caribbean people. Okay, so from that very energetic piece that you can see, the drumming is something that it was what brought my attention together. And in the Caribbean, as we all know, rhythm is something that is very, very prevalent. It's something that's just how people are. You know, we just love rhythm. We just groove to anything that is rhythmic to us. And I was able to successfully find a way through traditional arts for an actual study case, into actually bringing what is that, and that was the syllables of the Indian classical dance language being translated into the local indigenous rhythms here that we have and instruments we have here in Trinidad. As we all know, as I'm wrapping down my little presentation for you, religious connotations play a very heavy and an important role in our society. Like we have Ramadan coming in, and we are very, very careful, and we are very, very dedicated and respectful to many different religious groups that we have here, which we call our brothers and sisters. So the last clip I'm going to show you is actually now using the simple theme of Christmas.
Susanna, excuse me. We asked that you hold for 12 minutes, and it's now 15 minutes. So would you mind? We really appreciate what you've shared. Thank you.
We can
just make your closing comments. Your closing comments would be nice. Thank you.
So my comment to you and my contribution to you is that dance in the Caribbean really is not stagnant. It is something that is developing and contributing to a whole new appreciation to dance here in the Caribbean and worldwide. It's definitely bringing communities together, bringing people together, and cultures together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for that expose on the evolution of both the art as well as the artist, if I might say so. We really appreciate it. And we will be having questions at the end of all of the presentations. So please stay with us. I'm sure the audience would like to express both their appreciation and perhaps also ask some questions. Thank you once again. So now we move on to Guyana. Our presenter from Guyana is Dr. Sita Shah-Roth. She's a Guyanese educator, researcher, and performing arts director who has been researching the development of Indo-Guyanese dance from indentureship to present day in all regions of Guyana. She will be highlighting the dancer Valerie Barran from Guyana. Valerie is a dancer, a dance teacher, and group leader of the 18-member Berbice Delight. She's versed in classical, modern, Bollywood, and chutney dance styles. So let's hear from Dr. Shah-Roth. Welcome, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Greetings, as said before. When referring to Indo-Guyanese dance, we speak about its social context at festivals and ceremonial functions. And we speak of the dance form as it exists in the performing arts arena, alongside other forms such as ballet, classical, modern, folk, ethnic genres, Latin dances, merengue, tango, salsa, then the African-influenced dance genres and ethnic folk street dances and the more modern forms that exist today. So we must remember that in Guyana, prior to the 1920s, in British Guyana that is, only Indo-Guyanese men were allowed or allowed themselves to perform Indo-Guyanese dance in the community arena, that is, in the factories and in the community functions. Men were dressed as women in the Ramleelas and the Puran Mals. Further, men danced the belly dance, the belly moving dance, the Nagara. The Nagara was very, very important in Guyana prior to the 1920s, and it continued. If you could find Nagara dancers today, and the basis of it was the drums, the Indo-Guyanese drums. I say Indo-Guyanese because not only did we bring drums from India, but drums and drum making evolved from the natural materials that existed in Guyana and the form of music and that came out of these drums may have varied a little. Now, this form of Nagara continues today. Teacher Raghu on the east coast of Guyana makes the Nagara drums and teaches his students to play these drums. Folk dances, regardless of influences, seem to owe it to the movements of the drums of the time. The tassa drums, the dolak drums, the tabla, the nagara, of course, and the inherent melody within the songs that seem to answer the call of the soul of the dancer, the soul of every one of us who enjoy and move to that music, regardless of the language of the lyrics. Further, Indo-Guyanese dance as it exists in the performing arts in Guyana today also has its environmental influences. Environmental influences such as Bollywood movies, the music types that exist around that are available for choreographers and dance teachers and individual solo dancers. And don't forget that for some dance groups, audience preferences is very important. They dance for the love of dance, yes, but these groups are also professional in nature and they perform styles or combination of styles depending on the event and the type of audiences and the requirements of the dance performance, that is. What is the need for this particular group other than another group or an even other group, right? So groups sort of specialize in certain dance genres, not just one, maybe a number of genres. Valerie Barran, herself a semi-classical dancer who has won several competitions in semi-classical dance, she's also a classical dance student of the Indian Cultural Center. She is a dance teacher who hails from Berbice, Guyana. Her dance school and dance group is situated in Berbice. So forming and promoting, teaching members of her dance group, the Berbice Delights, is her most recent and longest running dance venture. Her first group was as a secondary school student in Rossignol. And then that was followed by the group that she formed with the youths at her mandir. But to tell you more about the influence of the beats of the tassa drum and the movements of the village woman during closed door sessions as part of the pre-marriage ceremony, the influence that these different genres of dance, different dance movements, as viewed as she grew up within her village in Berbice, is Valerie herself, right? Valerie will start with a video showcasing some of the chutney and chutney soca movements that her group specializes in. And then she will continue to speak about the different dances that her group performs in response to requests by different functions, festivals, stage performances, etc.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Valerie Barran. I'm from the Berbice Delights. Actually, I create dance expressions through the music that speaks to me. I see classical dance more than a way of life to me than just an art form. In my dance school, I inspire my dancers to create, innovate, and let their dance creations express their love of dance. I always have to give my best to inspire them. Growing up in my village, I always inspired by the elderly women dancing at matikor, wedding houses, and birthday parties. Here are some exciting pieces of our dance group. Those movements that you're seeing there are suggestive movements that we would have seen from our elderly folks at the Doti wedding houses where only women would have attended. So there you had our beautiful dancers showing off Radha's rich jewelry and Mehendi ceremony. classical piece, the most interesting one, which tells a story. It characterized by grace and movements and by elaborate formal gestures, steps, and poses. So, our four forms of dances that we normally do in Berbice are Bollywood dances, classical dances, interpretive dances, and of course, our favorite traditional chutney. 2-1. Some of our dancers from the Berbice Delights who have been dancing for many years are Vivina Prasad, Amrita Prasad, Leela Nandram, Shabana, Sonia Singh, Amika, Arifa, and many more. My advice to everyone out there, if you love dancing, just go after your dreams. Believe me, you will be successful one day.
Yeah. So that was Berbice Delights and Valerie Barran's group and her dances that she normally showcases at public events. Somebody in the chat mentioned other groups. I will deal with that during the answer session, question and answer session.
Thank you so very much for sharing that. And please extend our appreciation to Valerie. It was excellent. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to Suriname. KYRAN RAMPERSAD is a former Miss Caraibes Hibiscus Suriname winner. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She's a model, she's an actress, she's a dancer, she's a choreographer and founder of the dance school TI-22. She also teaches nationally and internationally. Welcome, KYRAN. You can go ahead and present for 12 minutes.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I will quickly share my screen. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Namaste. Indian dance only became well known in Suriname during the 60s through Bollywood movies. Before that, our ancestors only knew the dances they brought from India, like Nagara and Lunda Kinach, where a man dresses as a woman. Today, I will be focusing one of the styles I am currently practicing called Bharatnatyam. Bharatnatyam dance is an Indian classical dance which originated from the temples in Tamil Nadu region in southern India. This Indian dance system is the oldest and most comprehensive in the world, having an unbroken tradition that goes back over 3,000 years. It is one of the most recognized Indian classical dances and mainly expresses religious themes and spiritual ideas. The name Bharatnatyam is derived from three basic concepts of bhava, meaning expression, raga, meaning music, tala, meaning rhythm, and natyam, meaning dance. Bharatnatyam is characterized by its demi-plie-like stance, complexity of rhythmic footwork, and sign language gestured by hands, eyes, and delicate facial expression. Visually, it is a dynamic, earthly, and precise style of dance with a distinct linear quality. Bharatnatyam dancers, also known as Devadasis, are carefully prepared and trained through the Guru Shishya Parampara, meaning for a disciple, the Guru has the last word on the subject of dance. A Devadasi claims her title after getting ritually married to the god in the temple. Until the 20th century, Bharatnatyam was only performed in Hindu temples, and in the 20th century, it expanded its performances outside the temples and widely became a stage production. Bharatnatyam has since spread out all over the world and is done in different ways and even incorporated non-religious and fusion performances nowadays. In Suriname, we poorly knew only classical dances, mostly kathak, but could not even specify the difference between any types. We were not aware of Bharatnatyam until the year 1996, when Srimati Madhuri Mohan, a professional Devadasi who already had her own dance school in the Netherlands, started a project to teach Bharatnatyam to a small group in Suriname. Herself being a student of Srimati Rajamani and Srimati Lisbeth, dancing, learning, and teaching the Pandanallur Bharatnatyam style to us. As a result, there are now 25 Surinamese Devadasis contributing to the development and awareness of this style in different countries since 2001 up until now, myself included. Currently, there are 7 active dance schools teaching Bharatnatyam in Suriname. In 2002, at 8 years old, I accidentally took part in the second group of students of Srimati Jagmohan. I say accidentally because I came in contact with Srimati Jagmohan for a private class as I wanted to compete in a local dance competition. After our first training session, she told my mom that she saw potential in my way of dancing and advised to let me take dance classes. But to be honest, I was not very excited at first since I was not familiar with this dance style at all. But after the first try, I was completely sold and dedicated. And as a result, I was permitted to complete my Arangetram, which is a Bharatnatyam exam, in 2014, and since then can call myself a Devadasi. At a very young age, I expressed my interest in dance and went to different dance schools. Coming from a multicultural country, it was an absolute must for me to learn from every culture in Suriname, which expanded my dance knowledge. I was taught classical, jazz, and modern ballet, kathak, Baitagana, which is a typical Surinamese Indian style, Balinese temple dances, hip-hop, Afro dance, all of the typical Surinamese folk dances of different tribes and cultural groups, like the Chinese, Maroon, Creole, Japanese, Indians, Amerindians, Lebanese. Furthermore, also belly dance, Latin dance, and of course, one of my favorites, Bharatnatyam. In 2015, I started my own dance school called Thai 22 with over 70 students, both local and international, teaching a varied curriculum. In 2019, I had the honor of presenting my own debut showcase. And thanks to the diversity in my dance education, I was able to create typical Surinamese fusions, inclusive of Bollywood, Indian folk dances, and of course, Bharatnatyam. According to media and visitors, this was a huge success and opened many doors afterwards, providing me with the latest opportunity to have co-represented Suriname during the Expo 2020 in Dubai recently, dancing different styles as well. And I'm sure that this was just one of the many more opportunities to come. The road up until now has not been an easy one, but I've learned from a young age that nothing will be gained easily. Nonetheless, I dedicate myself daily and continue to develop in my dance education, as well as share the same love and passion I have for dance with others, keeping Bharatnatyam in Suriname alive. Hopefully, I have a couple of minutes left to share some videos.
Yes, Karen. Just
All right.
perhaps one video would be nice. Thanks.
All right, they're very short. If I have some time left, just let me know. If not, I will be sharing a video.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes
Okay.
left.
All right, no problem. This one is from my Arangetram, which took place in Suriname. Portraying the dance of Shabdam, where you can see the naughty Krishna stealing Makhan, which the gopis made and hid from him. Sharing just hopefully 2 more, which are very short videos. This one was from my debut show, and it is a fusion between Bharatnatyam or Bollywood incorporated and belly dance.
Dance.
And closing off, I have a fusional piece here, and this is on typical Surinamese music. It's not very much an upbeat one, but it is a dedicated piece to Suriname. And I did a fusion combining different styles, Surinamese styles, with also the Indian style dancing on this music. thanking the platform and Dr. Mahabir for this great opportunity. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Kiran. That was really, I'll take the words from Dwayne, very, very innovative and shows your talent so well. This was really fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. We'll go again with Suriname, and now I'll introduce you to TANUYA MANICHAND. She studied kathak at the Indian Cultural Center of the Indian Embassy in Suriname and later at the Pandit Shambu Maharaj Academy in India. Welcome, TANUYA. Can you please present for 12 minutes?
Namaste, everybody. Goedemiddag, good evening. So, like you said, I studied kathak, and in fact, the development of dance, and especially the Indian dance in Suriname, is similar to what the first and second Guyana also, and also what I'm not going to repeat that. In the 70s, kathak came to Suriname at the Indian Culture Center in Paramaribo. The only fact in how different am I doing my things in the diaspora, bringing the Indian dance in Suriname, was because of we were living in sections. The Hindustani people in close community, the Indonesian people in close community, and so go on, because we are a multicultural society. Explaining this. But I still believe that art and culture, and especially dance, bring people together. I'm currently the dance coordinator and also giving classes at a Roman Catholic elementary school. I'm especially attending to Roman Catholic elementary school. I'm giving kathak over there, and my colleague is giving Bharatnatyam and all other dance forms in Suriname. Kids over there are getting everyday dance classes. And the results of this, sharing each other culture, gives a more harmonious living with each other. So my mission and my vision in giving or making choreographies is in this land of many cultures and tradition, which the official language is Dutch, and the descendants of Amerindian, American, Africa, India, China, Indonesian, and me myself, a mix. Do you see any Chinese somewhere here? But yes, I have Chinese in me. I make those choreographies for anybody, for the viewers who can relate to this. To emphasize the wait, I'm stuck in something here. The unity and the diversity in Suriname. And still, what I'm saying is, I believe that sharing each other culture makes us closer to each other. So I did some studies, research with the other cultures, their traditional things. They use props like costumes and other items with a package of a performance. And I use the essence of kathak and bring all those elements in the dance. So this is for everybody to know and to see and to share what the diaspora, the Indian diaspora, is all about. So could you please do the first video? So as you see, we are improvising here the music because we don't have a sitar player with us. We have a acoustic guitar player, which gives the music within. If you look at the costumes, the costume I wear is my skirt is made of the material of the different cultures, because in this choreography I did a few dance of the Indonesian dance, but with the essence, with the masala of the diaspora. But I did not send it because I only wanted to give the Indian essence in this. Please, can I get the third video? Yes. So actually, I dance very little the usual choreo, like just shown, because there are more routine choreos for every kathak dancer. I make productions in collaborations with other culture and make an amalgamation of them so that everybody can feel it. So every viewer can relate to this, what I already told. You saw in the beginning that I sprayed I spray. You can stop the video. Yes. Yes. In the Maroon culture, this move, spraying the water through your mouth, is a way to cleanse the environment of or the place where you are. It's blessed water or a special water, and in this way, this is from the Maroon or the Creole culture. They spray it, in this place where I have I use as well, but I was not permitted to use the fire. I hold a piece of fire or of a flame in my hand, not a candle, but a cotton wool, a cotton ball, and then I lit it, and I have like shield flame in my hand. So I was not allowed, so you cannot see it in this video. And in the indigenous culture, they use this to cleanse the area where they are as well. But it's also a test for girls when they go into what do you call it, when they get big, when they get a woman. So all those small traditional elements of the other cultures, I blend into the choreographies. So now people know I'm an I'm especially talking about non-diaspora, Indian diaspora people, that I am presenting every year in this way. So the coming was a test, and I will give you of a test and why I did test. Can you please do the great Rampilawan, our great bhajan and Guyana singer? The video, can I get on that one? No, that's before, the video before. After this one, yes. So I'm always in some kind of countercurrent thing. That's why I'm sorry. Oh, Mr. Mahabir, you had so much trouble in the beginning with me with my videos. Being into this diaspora and sharing what we have brings us together with, oh, it's not here. Okay, I'm doing a bhajan with the great Chris Ramkilawan, the bhajan and Baitagana singer. In Trinidad, he is well known. And I did this test. People started to ask, I'm not talking about the diaspora, Indian diaspora citizen, the other cultures. After showing this video clip on the television with Navratri, yes, this one, I hear it. Yes. So the video is yes, great Chris Ramkilawan. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So it's a pity that you can please stop. Oh, you see, I used just Christmas light here because I was not allowed to have a fire in the room. But I did this test and how people will react to this video because I'm not well known of the multicultural presentations. And the non-diaspora, Indian diaspora citizens, they called me and they asked, I had a lot of reaction of this video. And they were interested in what I was presenting. And I had, because I am a teacher, a professor at the university for, how do you call this, and teachers for dance theater, performing arts and dance theater. So I had to lecture what it was about. Before, people were not asking about the culture. So I had a lot of lectures. That was the outcome of this video. Can you please do the next video, the one I am sitting?
Tanuya, would you mind making this the last one, please? Thank you.
Yes, of course, of course. I will talk in between. I have a collaboration. Actually, it's my I'm the trainer as well, the choreographer for this dance group. It is an Indonesian dance group, and I do a lot of performances with them. They are doing the Indonesian classical dance and the martial arts, pencaksilat, the Japanese martial arts as well. So with them, I do a lot of collaborations, and in this one, I want to emphasize the room as well. I'm well known because in Suriname it's pretty. We have two theaters, a big one and a small one, and I'm well known to perform in any room. Like this is a yoga center, and I perform as well in gardens, in on plazas, in the environment, because I don't want to rely on a theater where everybody wants to go. So I use other places to give my performances. And the very last one, then I closed up. The very last video. It is the same choreography, but I did this with a multicultural group, and in that performance, we used a lot of masks. From the beginning, please, this one. This was at the World Expo in Kazakhstan. And where, yes, this is it. And all three dancers, Indonesian dancer, a Creole dancer, and a hip hopper, we teach each other dances. So they learned the Indian dance as well. And in this composition, we were doing a piece of getting the energy within of the different cultures. So I thank you very much. The essence of my presentation is just to clarify my mission and my vision, the unity and diversity. Thank you very much.
And I think you did that very well, Tanuya. Your adaptations exemplified the multi-ethnic composition of Suriname. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's move on now to Belize. So DWAYNE RAVINSINGH MURILLO is a young advocate for kathak and Bharatnatyam dance forms and Indian culture in Belize. He's a member of the Corozal cultural group. Welcome, DWAYNE. You have 12 minutes.
Hi, Sitaram. Namaste. Good evening and good night, depending on the time there. So dancing here in Belize, first things off, dancing here in Belize was basically done through what we call here husemise, or as in, or brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Guyana, Suriname would know it as Jose. Now, the husemise as we know it here is basically the first type of dance that we know here in Belize, which is done whereby with through the community areas of Farbers Road and also in Calcutta, Corozal, and also in the Farbers Road and Yabra area, as we call it. And that was done by one elder, Miss Catherine Mohammed Ali, and her protege, Brian Dina. So the dancers would dance with long sticks, and they would then, some of them would dance with fire on either end of the sticks as well, and spinning it around and such. Other than that, they would then throw the tajda into the sea, and of course the tajda would have the bird on it. So they would know of it as being Hassan and Hussein fighting. But because of the ancestors coming to Belize and they have been Christianized, they have now influenced it into a Christianized way of saying it's Cain and Abel. Now, that is also done, like I said, in Corozal town through Kowich by Aunt Silva's group there in Corozal town. So every year they would do a reenactment of the dance of the Husemise. Now, other than that, it's known by some of the generation, like my age range, but they are very, how to say, shy, and some of them are very intimidated, and they seem to don't like the idea of wanting to get into the culture. They don't have the interest, and so they're becoming more westernized and Americanized. So they're drawing away from the Husemise and going towards more modern hip hop and such type of dance. Just giving a brief rundown before I get to what I need to do now. So soca and chutney as well is something that we borrow a lot here in Belize. So I grew up listening to the famous song like Mr. Chris Garcia, the Chutney Bacchanal. So every time it's carnival time for us, we be hearing soca song, chutney song from Trinidad, Suriname, Guyana, not knowing it is from these countries, but mainly Trinidad is the country that we hear the soca song from, no? And it's basically the same way you see people dancing to the soca and chutney style we do here in Belize. Just give me a basically a rundown. Now, coming now to Indian classical dance now, like I said earlier, it is not well known here in Belize, unlike Suriname, Guyana, Jamaica, and other parts of the Indo-Caribbean countries. Mainly, we here in Belize, we did not have a large amount of Easterners who came to Belize. So we make probably about, as far as I can remember, 2% or 3% of the population. And we have been assimilated with other ethnic groups. So we have now branched out and become, I guess you could say, watered down. And because of that, the older generation that who would have known to play the tassa drums, play the rhythms, sing the songs, they passed away. And they tried their best before they pass it on to their children and such, but unfortunately they didn't really pick it up. Now, how I got into learning about kathak and Bharatnatyam was through Kowich in Corozal town, when there was a conference in 2014, the Indo-Caribbean conference, and that was held, like I said, by Kowich. The dancer Niha Dawar came, and I know she is a kathak dancer there in Trinidad, and she taught the basics of kathak to us, a small group, I think about 20 of us, and I was the only male in the group. So I asked Niha, but Niha, I know there's a type of dance that you bend your legs and it's like a lot of leg work and squatting. She said, oh, that's Bharatnatyam. But what I do is kathak. So learning more about kathak from her, seeing the spins, seeing how graceful it is, that inspired me to, hey, I want to get into this. And after Niha went, after the conference, I would then, update her as though when I'm dancing on such a thing like that. And I would then try to incorporate it, what I know, through YouTube videos, YouTube tutorials, and basically just learn more of it, because there's no guru here in Belize who is a kathak teacher or Bharatnatyam teacher, nothing like that here. So my teacher, quote unquote, after my guru went, would be the internet, watching ZTV, Star Plus, the Bollywood movies, watching the tutorials online. Then in 2017, Brian Manguru came to Belize, and he taught the basics of Bharatnatyam whilst doing a specific song, a Bollywood song. But I would ask him, can you teach me the basics of Bharatnatyam as well? And he taught me. And so that, as I say, it was history. The rest was history. When I found out the techniques of Bharatnatyam, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both kathak and Bharatnatyam, and From there, I performed, sorry for the noise in the background. I had then performed at different events annually at the Yellow Ginger Festival in Punta Gorda town, which is our southern district. And from there, I would basically just showcase to the Easterners here in Belize, nationwide, north and south, what we are missing here, the missing piece, the missing puzzle. And every time I perform, everyone, both young and old, asking me, can you come and teach us? Can you have a workshop? Can you come for a summer class and teach? And basically I would do a little here and there and do my best, I just have a few notes here. Notable gurus that have helped me along the way, like I said, would be Nia Dawar, Brian Manguru, Samantha Ramkaran, who came from Prema Shakti Dance Group. She taught us a 1-month summer class workshop in Corozal town, and she was very, very strict with us. And she taught us that it's not just going on stage and dancing. From the get-go, when Brian and Neha came and taught us, I got the idea and knew that it is also a spiritual dance. So for the other dancers who did not know that it has to do a lot of spirituality and also about Hinduism, they did not know that it doesn't entail eating meat, or it's a spiritual dance you would fast. For me, when I am going to do a performance, I would fast the day before the event, to get in the zone, get into the aspect, get into the Ishta Devi or Ishta Deva. So for me, I am a big devotee of Mahadev and Shakti, or Shakti in her different forms of Ma Kali, Ma Durga. So I would just listen to her songs or Mahadev songs and just think. All right, so video-wise, I do have a few videos here.
জাগো তুমি জাগো জাগো দুর্গা জাগো দশ প্রহরণ ধারিণী অভয়া শক্তি বল প্রদায়িনী তুমি জাগো।
One thing I want to make note of is that the costume that I have on there, the pink purplish one, was done by my guru who I adore the most, is Guru Rajesh Sinat. He made the costume in about 2015, 16 thereabout. I usually went on different lives on Facebook, and one day by God sent, he just said, "Where are you from?" Belize. And they would say the rest was history. He showed me probably about a month or so after that a costume, a blue one. He said, "This is for you." The only problem was getting it to Belize. A friend of mine who was studying seal pan music in UA at St. Augustine, he brought it for me after my birthday, and that was the best birthday gift I had that year. Then for Carifesta, I had performed there, and Guru Rajesh, he made another costume, the pink one there. So I'm very, very grateful for Guruji for that, for those two costumes. And, you know, talking to him inspires me to more to be like him, and was able to perform and let him see my potential, and he sees it. And it is my hope that I can go back to Trinidad and learn more from him. And yes.
Dwayne, thank you so very much for sharing both your personal story as well as your talent. Many people in the chat have said it. They've expressed that you are quite inspiring, and I do agree. You're quite an inspiration.
Thank you.
And as you continue on your path to become more entrenched in your Indian culture, we really salute you, and we hope to be able to support you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on now to our sixth and final speaker, and she is from South Africa. Radha Srini is an exponent of Kuchipudi classical dance, combining her art and the spirit of the Renaissance, which is an amalgamation of tradition and innovation. Welcome, Radha. Please go ahead and share.
In the beginning, we were only doing that learning part only when the occasion is arising. Like there is a festival, Diwali, they need an item to perform, or there's a competition in the school, or there is an event that they need to perform. But now when I see, I think it's a calling. I got it one day. When I was training, then I felt like there is something that's coming in me that told me that no, make it big like regular classes. Our Diwali show is really a big hit, I should say, in the town itself. People normally wait for our Diwali program because it's like a full evening cultural program.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze
Jai Namaste, good evening, salam alaikum. While I'm talking, I would like to share my presentation, my pictures of various performances. We are from South Africa. Hope you are able to see. Just please let me know if you are able to see it.
Yes, we are seeing. We are seeing.
In South Africa, one of the largest Indian communities outside India. So here, the very famous dance forms we can see are the Bharatnatyam, Kuchipudi, the kathak, and also the Bollywood. And what happens here traditionally is most of the interested students, they go overseas to India and they get trained by the renowned gurus in India. They come back and then they try to train the coming generations in this art form, thereby keeping the tradition going. But as in the few couple of years, if we see, more fusion dances are also coming, where they try to bring the collaboration between the classical dance and the Bollywood dance, or the classical dance and the African dance. This is a very innovatively change that is coming through in the tradition in South Africa in the recent trend. I started learning Kuchipudi dance. It's one of the classical dance forms of India at a very young age under great reputable dance gurus. I felt the urge and need to continue this art form to the next generation of children and adults in South Africa. So I opened a dance school for all races and genders. My partnership with the Indian consulate in South Africa, Mozambique, etc. helped me and my students to do various performances at many events. My close long-term relationship with the South African Arts and Culture Department had enabled us to perform and win many accolades at the events, including much needed media coverage for this art form. We have also been blessed to perform at various ISKCON events. These are just a few to mention. And as you can see, when I'm moving the pictures, these are some of the performances we have done through our South African Arts and Culture Department in collaboration with the local and international artists on the same stage. The reason Kuchipudi is taken here, and I would like to speak about it, is it's undoubtedly a dance style where body and gesture express emotion. It is noted for its grace, excellent technique, lyricism, and expressive abhinaya while integrating seamlessly with the theme of the event and the song selected for choreography. As we have given in the video, some of the clips of various performances, when you saw the Jerusalem song, which has become world famous, we have tried to bring in some innovation, trying to portray the Indian tradition in it while doing the Indian moves to that song, and also showcasing the iconic sites in the area in South Africa. And we also participate in the cultural parade, and these are some of the pictures where the parade takes place, and our artists, our students are on the in the parade, taking part in the parade, exhibiting the dance, the style, and what we do with the costumes and everything. And you can also see, as I mentioned, we also perform in ISKCON events, which is very traditional, spiritual occasions or platforms that we also perform. And the other Nari Shakti, we have the Women's Day celebration, where it is a social theme, where we showcase the women empowerment, as you have seen me performing there. And these are some of the other pictures when the children are performing, where the guests come onto the stage to also participate along with them. Kuchipudi has provided an ideal platform to extend this art form to incorporate local social themes and issues that society is battling to deal with, thereby helping people to find an emotional outlet and expression to social issues. I've been experimenting and creating a fusion between Indian traditional dance and African rhythms and beats, and involving various community groups, and hoping to do a small production soon with the local social themes as a backdrop. All in all, the process of dancing gives community members the opportunity to move in unison and share moments which unite them apart from being seen as an entertainment. As the socially relevant issues and contemporary life that deserve showcasing in dance, it's one of the most refined, deep, and progressive forms of human expression. Hence, depicting these various local social themes in this unique art form assists in making the audience to ponder on the social issues affecting them. You can also see these pictures when the traditional platforms we perform in a traditional way, and the social themes when the occasions comes like the Heritage Day, the Women's Day. We also incorporate the cultural, the tradition into the social, the social theme into collaborating with the traditional art. The novelty of this art, the intricate footwork, the graceful movements, gestures, and the facial expressions makes the audience to get attracted and involved in these local themes, and it can not only show direct impact on the audience, but also result in implementing the expected change in the society. That is the reason why I'm very much interested in taking up the social themes wherein we can bring in some change in the society. Like, as I have already mentioned, the women abuse and the unemployment, where youth turn into leaving the social norms, getting into the social issues like drug addiction and things like that. So this is the reason why this tradition, taking the social themes, can assist in bringing some change in the society.
Radha, I hate to interrupt you, but would you mind making a closing comments, please? Thank you.
I would like to thank the host, Dr. Mahabir, for giving me this opportunity to showcase some of our efforts in South Africa, while also feeling blessed to be participating with other esteemed guests. I thank you. This is my last comment then.
very much. That was a wonderful presentation. And to all of our presenters as well, we want to say thank you very much for your time, your effort, expertise, and availability. We have just about 5 minutes left, and Radha, this is why, unfortunately, I interrupted you. We really want to express our appreciation to all of you, but we certainly would like to hear from our audience as well. So at this point, I'd like to ask our audience members who would like to ask a question or make a very brief comment, please raise your electronic hand. To do so, of course, you click on the reaction button, which is at the base of your screen, then click on the raised hand icon so that I can call on you. I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded live and would be uploaded later after editing on YouTube permanently for posterity. The meeting is also being streamed live on the Facebook page of the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center and other social media networks. So at this point in time, I will ask Veena Shetty to go ahead. Please make your comment.
First and foremost, thank you to every single artist there. It's absolutely stunning to see that almost 2 centuries after they left home, they still continue with their traditional arts. And as the president of the India Center, I would like to invite them to come and participate in our programs virtually, since we've been doing Zoom programs for the last 2 years. Thank you.
Excellent, Veena. Hopefully, I'm not sure if you put it in the chat, but please put your contact information in the chat so that each of our presenters today and those in the audience who would like to join you can do so. I will now invite, I'm not sure what your proper name is, but I know you're from Jamaica. Please go ahead, make your comment.
Thank you. Yes, for some reason I couldn't change my name. So this is Sharni. I just wanted to say thank you so much for this. And I would like to give some words of encouragement. When I first ventured into doing Bharatnatyam, it was not offered in Jamaica. I actually went to France for a year and somebody was teaching and her name was Lucy and she was from Mauritius. And it's just to say that even if you're not in your country of origin, you know, you will find a teacher somewhere. And Dwayne, you blew me away. Honestly, I was so inspired by you. And what I'm seeing is that even if you don't have a tabla player, your teacher would have taught you, you know, the rhythm. So you go and you're like, day, that day, kita taka tom, tom, and you will say it and you're nodding your head because you know what I'm talking about. Even if you don't have a tabla, you're still able to do your movement. You're still able to practice your mudras. And I'd like you to continue doing that. And this is just for everybody, you know, take a chance. Yes, I'm over 50 and yes, I would want to get back onto that dance floor. So just to encourage you, even if you don't have dance teachers around, and in Jamaica, we really don't have many, please don't be discouraged. Just go ahead and get on the dance floor. Thank you.
Wonderful comment. Thank you so much. Sharmila, I think I saw your hand up. Please go ahead, make your comment. Or did we lose her? I feel we lost her. Mani, did you have a comment?
But that thing would have been was live on mute, and I think Karen was anyway.
Sorry, Karen Khan.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Raj Kumar Krishna Prasad. I am the founder, leader, choreographer of the Trinidad School of Indian Dance. I am the first person in this part of the world who was awarded a scholarship to go to India and study. I was there in 1965, 66, and 67, where I studied the style of Bharatnatyam in Kalakshetra, Madras, under the late Rukmini Devi Arundale. I have been teaching for over 50 years now. I have been involved in the dance for over 65 years and more. I have traveled, performed, and represented Trinidad in many parts of the world: England, America, Canada, Switzerland, Singapore, Japan, Africa, where I also performed for the Queen in England in the Royal Albert Hall in London. And as regards to your program, I must say it's very interesting and very informative. I look at it and I see the infusion all the time in the dances. But I have a little thing about understanding the definition of the word restructuring of Indian dance. I would appreciate it very much if you would kindly just tell me, within the context of Indian dance, what are you trying to say by restructuring of Indian dance in the diaspora or in the Caribbean?
Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for your presence here with us. Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone in particular you're directing your question to?
No, well, it is a general question because I love what I have seen. I think it's beautiful that these leaders from the different parts of the Caribbean, and which is so nice because we are promoting Indian dance in the Caribbean ever more now than before. And that is very nice to create the consciousness and awareness of Indian dance to get the young people to come forward and identify themselves and get involved in Indian dance, which is so beautiful. You cannot measure Indian dance by no measurement at all. And then you see the beautiful styles and the different styles, the kathak, Bharatnatyam, and all that, and the fusion. I like it very, very much. And it's a good thing to see I'm saying we here, are promoting this art form throughout the Caribbean. And we are hoping that the young people would come forward, identify themselves, get involved so we can promote it.
Yes, I agree. Would you mind sharing, in the interest of time, we really should be wrapping up now. In the interest of time, would you want to volunteer a definition for restructure?
Well, this is what I was asking, because when I hear about restructuring, I'm trying to understand, because first of all, my dear, if you don't know the alphabet, you cannot read and write, and nobody in the world, I repeat, can read or write if they don't know the alphabet. You must have a base, and only if you can create, you can improvise, and you can fuse. Because I take Bharatnatyam, which I have been doing for over 50 years now, and I fuse it with folk dance, the Bollywood style. And a lot of people are misinterpreting the Bollywood style. But Bollywood is not a representation of anything Indian. In fact, that is an attempt to imitate Europe and America. It is a highly motivated commerce. It's an industry, but it's beautiful entertainment. And the majority of people in the world today are imitating Bollywood, which is very beautiful because it's very entertaining. And you have to understand that. But if you're using the word Indian dance, you cannot talk Bollywood. You can't use the word Bollywood if you're talking Indian dance. You see, there's a difference with dance and Indians, a different thing. You see, dancing is not merely an art, nor simply a spontaneous expression of joy and harmony with nature. It is all these and much, much more. It is an example, the life and the country.
Yes, we agree. And thank you very, very much for raising that very important point and for clarifying it for us. Unfortunately, we need to close now. We would have loved to hear a response from each of our presenters. But at this point in time, I would like to say thank you very much for your contribution, sir. And once again, I want to thank each of our presenters. You all have really made this afternoon a spectacular one. And thank you so much for flying the flag of Indian culture alive. I wish you all the best, and I hope you continue in good stead. So thank you once again. I'll now turn over to our chairperson, Mr. Nicholas Maharaj, and he will close for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shalima Mohammed of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for being an excellent moderator once again. And thank you all for taking the time to participate. Thanks especially to the presenters. Thanks to the advisory and planning team led by Dr. Kumar Mahabir. This is a team effort directed by people in the Indian diaspora. Shalima Mohammed and Sat Sukdeo from Trinidad, Dr. Tara Singh and Mark Ramdin from New York, Boise Sioux and Kasraj from Florida, Jai Sayers from Grenada, Lalita Adin and Shamila Ramratan from Suriname, and others from South Africa. And also not forgetting our IT manager behind the scene, Ravin Ramsingh, who has been recording the program and will edit and upload it on our website and to YouTube permanently and for prosperity. As I have said before, this public meeting is being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center and the Amina Gafur Institute for the Study of Indigenship and its Legacies, led by Professor David Dabadin. Feel free to contact ICC to publish your books and reports. Send us your email addresses and WhatsApp number to continue to build our database. In order to continue this weekly program and to make it better and bigger, we are asking you to kindly give us your suggestions as well as a donation. Please contact Dr. Mahaber for details. Our topic next Sunday will be early Indian intellectuals in the Indian diaspora. Please like, share, and follow our Facebook page. I am Nicholas Maharaj saying goodbye. May God bless you. Dhanyavad.